Welcome, Jess.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
Thanks for making the time. So why don't we tell the audience just a little bit about yourself so they can get to know you before we dive into iWIT?
Absolutely. So, born and raised here in the Treasure Valley. I've worked in technology for all of 4 years now, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. I have a background in business development, very passionate about connecting people, helping girls and women. Former Girl Scout leader for many years. Both of my girls went through Girl Scouts, so that's another reason why I'm here working on iWIT. And love to hike, play hockey, and just help friends with their businesses and yeah, be outside.
Speaking of hockey, I heard there's a hockey game that you're dashing off to right after this.
Yes. In fact, it was scheduled at 3:15 right now, and they actually made it an hour and a half later. So I'll be able
Because
to
they
get
knew
there.
I invited you to this
Yeah, they
talk,
did.
right? There we go. I like
Yeah.
that.
So I'll be
Cool.
rushing out the door and getting my skates on right after this.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'll be rushing out the door later to go coach my daughter's soccer team.
Oh,
so
awesome.
We have
Perfect.
that in common.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we got to know you a little bit, let's talk about iWIT. What is it? What it is all about, and why did it start?
Well, iWIT is really a collaboration with many nonprofits, conversations over the years that we really needed to join forces and uplift women and girls, create pathways towards a little bit more equity in the technology field. Everyone always says, I want more women, I want to hire more women engineers. I just don't know how. I don't know how to find them. So what we decided to do is create kind of an interesting model where we're using data and we're using technology to figure out how do we do this? How do we get more women into this field? And how do we show that it's really open to you and you belong here? So our message is really one of you belong here, and we're going to help you make those connections and figure out how to go about your journey through mentorship, community outreach, networking events. We'll actually have some specific events targeted for women who never imagined they could get into technology fields. So I'm really excited about the work that we're doing.
It's a striking parallel to our second place winner of the pitch competition this year, Maggie. Have you heard of that company?
No, I haven't.
Maggie. So they specialize in getting women into B2B tech sales jobs.
Oh, I actually did meet her.
Jenny Anderson, I believe is her name.
Yes, she's fantastic. Yeah, we
Okay.
actually connected.
Cool.
I already asked her to join my board, just so you know.
You're ahead of me then. There you go. Well, she won, like I said, second place.
She's wonderful. And what I love about her story is this is someone who hasn't been in tech very long, and she really found herself in technology. It changed her life, and it's kind of changed mine as well. So I love what she's doing, and I think we'll be able to collaborate. So,
Jess, what do you see as some of the barriers to women getting into technology? I mean, there's the obvious ones as those who hire mostly aren't women, I assume. But are there any nuances that maybe someone like me who wants to hire more women as well, you described me perfectly earlier,
Yeah.
but doesn't know how to. Are there any nuances you can highlight for us there?
well, I think that it's a bit of an invisible problem. We don't always know why. I think when we're born, little girls and little boys are so different, right? You can't help your 1-year-old son from creating a gun out of his finger or making a train out of his spaghetti noodles. Little girls are going to play with dolls whether they have the doll or not. So we know this exists. We also know that self-esteem peaks at around age 8.5 for a girl. And for men, that's a lifelong journey of feeling confident. So the variables that we're dealing with, we really need to target that age and see what we can do to kind of uplift girls' self-esteem, to open those pathways. And I got this line from Alicia Murray over at Women Innovators. I don't want to steal it from her without giving credit.
Love Alicia,
but
by the way.
She's amazing. We're actually partnering up for our mentorship program with Women
Who aren't
Innovators.
you partnering
I know,
with?
exactly.
All
We're
right.
collaborative. Women are collaborative. Alicia told me, you can't be what you can't see. So one of the pillars of iWIT is creating a way for more girls to be exposed to more amazing women leaders. I think that one of the things we're doing is we're putting together a really small ask to women engineers, STEM professionals, that will you come to one Girl Scout meeting and tell your story and just let those girls see who you are. Bring your passion, bring your pain points, and just share your story. So I think having that as really low barrier to volunteering and just coming to one meeting. So we're looking at having a really robust list for the Girl Scouts so that leaders can pull those individuals and just show their girls what's available to them in life.
So that girls can see what they may want to be.
Yeah.
And so if I am, or if I am That was going to be a horrible sentence. But for those women that you're targeting to come and speak at these Girl Scouts, how would they go about getting engaged with you or realizing that opportunity to come and speak to them?
I love this question. We're actually having our kickoff event November 3rd at Pay It Brewing. So it's from 4 to 6 o'clock. We're going to have live music. Hewlett Packard is graciously hosting dessert and free beer. We're calling it Puffy Coats and Tech. Essentially, we're going to have 11 other nonprofits there. They're all going to be kind of a drive to get people to volunteer. We're going to be having surveys. Like I said, we like data at iWIT, so we're going to be figuring out where do you want us to put our efforts in the community, getting feedback, and I'm expecting a wonderful turnout, big party. So please join us November 3rd at Pay It Brewing for a happy hour. We've also got a LinkedIn page, social media, website coming, and that will have all of our events. It's also going to highlight all the other events throughout the state that other women-led nonprofits are doing.
Okay, very cool. November 3rd, Pay It
November
Brewing.
3rd.
I think I have the invite
Awesome.
in my inbox. Now that we have a better understanding of iWIT itself, let's turn the attention to what the business community can do and the greater community to support this effort in you. So if you had other than, hey, come speak to the Girl Scouts, what are some of the things that you're looking for in terms of support?
You know, I have to tell you, TM, I've had so much support. I feel like this entire city has just wrapped their arms around me and hugged me and uplifted my efforts. So what I would love to see is just more women coming to these events. I worked at the Idaho Technology Council and loved my time there. But what I noticed is, where are the women? Where are the individuals who aren't, the 60-year-old white men? I mean, that's the reality of what we're looking for, is just to uplift, empower, and really reach more women and have them come, and then we'll do the work once we get those individuals. So I would say keeping an eye out on what we're doing. Eventually, we'll be looking for some sponsorships. Right now, we're funding through grants and kind of some different areas there. So just get involved and bring the ladies with you when you do.
And it's a nonprofit, right?
We're actually looking at getting our status, so
Cool.
it's all in progress.
Very
So,
nice, very nice. Earlier, you mentioned the mentorship program. I had an interesting conversation the other day talking about the differences between a coach and a mentor and a teacher. So in this mentorship program, are the same women that are going to come speak to your Girl Scouts? Are you also asking them to be part of this mentorship program? Is there any kind of format?
Yeah, actually, so I'm really fortunate. One of my board members, her name is Pat Pike, and she just retired as the CEO of the Girl Scouts. So she was actually a mentor to me at age 19. I met her on a hockey team. We happened to be on the same team. And so 20 years later, now we're building this nonprofit together. I'm really excited to have her. Pat's life work has been uplifting women and girls. Along with Jet Hansen over at Intuit, we've been putting together this for about a year. So it's a collaboration. It's called a mentorship circle. We're actually going to be working with Women's Business Center and the Women Innovators. All those groups already have mentorship programs. So we didn't want to come in, reinvent the wheel, and act like we own this town, right? Let's get what is already happening all together, and let's do something a little bit special. So we're actually going to be looking at that, starting at that like 8.5, that age where we know girls kind of tend to start feeling bad about themselves.
Tell me more about that. So I have a 10-year-old.
Okay.
And I co-coach her soccer team, but I wasn't aware of that the significance of that age and the peaking of the confidence at all.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We have seen through studies that something needs to be done specifically at that age. So we've really made that a target of our efforts. Pat's been doing research for about 20 years, so luckily we have that to rely on. And then we've been building programs using what the Women Innovators are doing and what the Women's Business Center is doing. So we're actually taking what we feel is like the strongest elements from these programs and putting it together, and we're launching a pilot program in January. So I'd encourage you to get your daughter involved. We'd love to have her. So
Will do, yeah. She's a Girl Scout, and
Oh,
like I said,
good.
she plays soccer, but what you're saying, now that I think about it, holds true. So like I said, she's 10. She just got over that it was 8.5, you said?
8.5. And one thing, just a side note, I love sports. I've been an athlete my entire life.
You played soccer, you play hockey.
I did. I still play hockey. In fact, I have a game right after we get off camera. But one thing, TM, is I think that all of these worlds really go together, and the creativity, the innovation, the self-esteem boosting that girls get from just achievement, right? So push your daughters to do more, sign them up for something that makes them a little bit uncomfortable, but once they have that skill under their belt, it's amazing how much better they're going to feel through junior high and high school. So we're committed to following girls through the entire journey. We're looking at doing a research study in collaboration with our mentorship program to study mental health, how many girls go into tech, what are you doing in your life later? So we're really pretty serious about data, and we want to take the data, our partners, and do something really special in the community for girls and women.
There you have it, folks. Jess Whitman teaching me some much-needed
Fuhrman.
parenting skills. Fuhrman, sorry.
But Whitman's pretty cool, too.
Fuhrman. Point being, teaching me some very important parenting skills. We're about out of time. I'm going to wrap up this talk and just want to thank you for your time today and coming in and making this work. I want to thank you for all the efforts in the community. It is much needed. And I agree with you. Reinventing the wheel isn't always the best form of partnership, but figuring out how to add value by extracting the best sides of all the other partners is the way to go. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
With that, that's it for this talk. Coming up next, career conversations with women innovators. What a great fit. We did not plan this at all, I promise. But first, a word from our sponsors.